நமஸ்காரம். சௌக்கியமா?
நமஸ்காரம்.
ஆரம்பிக்கலாமா? ஒரு நிமிஷம் கூட இருக்கலாம். புக் இல்லாத கொஞ்சம் கஷ்டமா இருக்கு இல்லையா?
நமஸ்காரம் அம்மா.
நமஸ்காரம். புக் இருந்தது கொஞ்சம் பெட்டரா இருக்கும் இல்லையா?
ஆமா.
வந்துருங்கிறாள், அடுத்த வாரம் வந்துருன்னு சொல்றா, பார்க்கலாம். உங்களுக்கு யூஎஸ்ல யாரும் போயிட்டு லீவ் எல்லாம் வருது, போயிட்டு வருவாள் இந்தியாவுக்கு இல்லையா?
இருக்க வர யாராவது கேட்டு பாக்குறேன், நானும் சொல்றேன்.
இங்கே வந்துடும், இங்கே கனடாக்கு வந்துடும். ஐ கேன் மேக் அ பிடிஎஃப், பட் அதுக்குள்ள உங்களுக்கு யாராவது வந்ததுன்னா
நிச்சயமா நிச்சயமா.
கேகேஎஸ்எஃப்லயே யாரும் போகலையோ, இப்படி போயிட்டு வருவாள்.
இப்போ எனக்கு இப்போ தெரியல, கேட்டு பார்க்கணும். அடுத்த இது பூஜையில எங்கேயா பார்த்த போது எல்லாரையும் பார்த்து கேட்கணும்.
ஓகே. ஹரி ஓம் ஸ்ரீ குருभ्यो நமः. ஓம் கணானாம் த்வா கணபதிகம் ஹவாமஹே கவிம் கவீனாம் உபமஸ்ரவஸ்தமம் ஜேஷ்டராஜம் பிரம்மணாம் பிரம்மணஸ்பதः நிஷ்கிருண்வன் பூதிபிः சீதசாதனம். ஸ்ரீமஹாகணபதயே நமः. प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती दीनामवित्र्यवतु वाग्देव्यै नमः. श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः. ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तं वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां. श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्. अपारकरुणा सिन्धुं ज्ञानदं शान्तरूपिणं श्रीचन्द्रशेखरगुरुं प्रणमामि मुदान्वहं. सिन्दूरारुणविग्रहां त्रिणयनां माणिक्यमौळीस्वरत्तारानायकशेखरां स्मितमुखीं आभीनवक्षोरुहां पाणिभ्यां मणिपूर्णरत्नचषकं रक्तोत्पलं बिभ्रतीं सौम्यां रत्नघटस्थरक्तचरणां ध्यायेत् परामम्बिकाम्. इक्षुकोदण्डपुष्पेषु वासाङ्कुशलसत्कराम् उद्यत्सूर्यनिभां वन्दे श्रीमत्त्रिपुरसुन्दरीं विश्वकारणनेत्राढ्यां श्रीमत्त्रिपुरसुन्दरीं बद्धकासुरसंहर्त्रे कामाक्षीं तामहं भजे. स्वर्णाङ्गीं रत्नभूषाढ्यां शुकहस्तां शुचिस्मितां काञ्चीनिवासिनीं वन्दे காமாட்சிம் காமிதார்த்ததாம். இது வரைக்கும் எவ்வளவு படிச்சிருக்கோம்? உங்ககிட்ட புக் இல்லை இல்லையா? சாரி. யாவத் தொண்டீரமந்தரம் தாவத் காஞ்சி தலம் ஸ்மிருதம், அதோடு நிறுத்திருக்கோம்னு நினைக்கிறேன். 27 ஸ்லோகங்கள். So we will continue with this. So the next description is about Shira Nadi Prabhava Arambha அப்படின்னு. It's describing the greatness of the Shira Nadi or the Palar river. So that's the next description. So in the middle of Tundira Mandalam, there is the part of the description of the various avaranas around Kanchipuram. There was briefly Shira of the Sarit was described. Now there is a further description of the Shira of the river, how did it originate, and what is the greatness of that river and all that. So we will see that now. Shira Nadi Prabhava Arambha. Tanmadyagamini Kshiresharit Shreshta Mahanadi Sarva Papa Prashamani Muktidashnanato Nranam Shri Vidya Parameshanya Stana Kumbha Samudbhava Sa Sudajnanadha Devi Tomatatva Pradayini Jara Marana Dukkagni Suda Kshiradrathambusa Evam Chaturvidenaive Yuga Vedat Kadadishu Vartate Tatra Kshiroshni Tadbhava Yuge Yuge. So she is describing the greatness of the Shira Nadi. The Shira Nadi is flowing in the middle of nearby Kanchipuram, and it is Sarva Bhava Prashamani. So it helps get rid of the sins of people and provides moksham, muktida. How? Snanadodhanam. Whoever takes bath in that river, it helps obtain salvation and removal of all their sins. Sri Vidya Parameshanya Stanat Kumbha Sambhava. It originated in the Stanam of Sri Parameshwari, and how it originated will be told in the following story. And before that, Sa Sudha Jnanada Devi from Amritatva Pradhayini. So it provides knowledge, jnanam, and it also provides Amritatvam. Amritatvam means to birthlessness and complete freedom from repeated birth and death, samsaram. So Jara Marana Dukkagni, Sudha Kshira Dhritambasa. So in the 4 yugas, it had different appearances. In the Krita Yuga, it was Amrita Pradayini. It was flowing in the form of Amritam, and then in the next Treta Yugam, it was in the form of Kshiram, and in the Dwapara Yugam, it was flowing as Ghritam. Ghritam means ghee, and so Sudha, Kshira, Ghrita, Ambasa. So in the Kali Yuga, it flows in the form of water. Shuddha, Kshira, Ghrita, Ambasa, Evam Chaturvidena Yuga Vedat Kritadishu. In each Yuga, it is flowing in different forms. Vartate Tatra, Kshiroshni, Tattad Bhava Yuge Yuge. According to each Yuga, it takes various forms, and in the Kali Yuga, it has taken the form of the water. Okay. The story goes like this. Pura Puragnya Sacha Brahmane Jnanadayini Tatkatam Sampurikshami Pura Vrittam Charitrakam Tasya Sravana Matrene Sarva Papai Pramuchyate Pura Brahma Jagaddhata Subramanyam Shivatmajam Pranavartha Prasamshyamya Yajitva Jnana Vidya Bhagno Bhutva Kumarine Parakshira Prabhavatahe. So the story as to how the Shira Nadi came into being is going to be told. So the Surata is being told by Markandeya that he will tell him that story. Tasya Shravana Matrena. Sarva, even the listening to the story will be, Pavai Pramuchade, you will be rid of your sins. So, and then he continues the story. What is the story? Pura, once upon a time, Brahma, Jagaddhata, Subramanyam Shivatmajam. So Brahma was very envious of Subramanya, the son of Shiva. Why was he envious? Between them there was a conversation, and Subramanya was able to explain to him the meaning of Pranavam. So Pranavartha Prasamshayam Ajitva Jnana Vidyaya. So Brahma could not compete with Subramanya in the matter of discussing Jnana Vidya. So he was Bhagno Bhutva Kumaragna. So he became very upset. He was wondering how, even though he is much younger than me, he is able to have so much of knowledge. And then he contemplated unto himself as to what could be the source of such knowledge. And then he came to the conclusion that Parakshira Prabhavadaha. That is because he drank the Jnana Kshiram from his mother. And therefore he is having so much knowledge. So Parakshira Prabhavadaha. So what did he think? Even if by Ambal's blessings or by any other means of luck, if I am also able to get the Amba Shiram, I will be equally brilliant, equally having knowledge. In this way, Brahma thought about it. Panenasya guho vidvan sarvajñam panditottamah ityevam chintayat Brahma parakshira asya tadaha. So he wanted to get that milk of Amba and get the supreme knowledge, as in the case of Subramanya. So what did he do? Nandishailam samaruhya Sthitva Devi Saritre Srividya Parameshanya Mahamantravaram Vidhi. So he went to this Nandishailam, which I described previously. And so, having gone to Nandishailam, he Stitwa Devi Saritare, there on the banks of the river, sat there. And then he started, he wanted to meditate on Sri Vidya. And in the matter of getting the meditation on Sri Vidya, he was helped by Parameshwara, who taught him the Mula Mantram of Sri Vidya. So, Sri Vidya Parameshanya Mahamantravaram Vidhi Sa Labdva Shankarad Brahma Satasamvatsaravadi. So, having obtained the Upadesam on Sri Vidya Mantram from Shiva, he started meditating on Ambar for 100 years. Sata Samvatsara Savadihi. So, he meditated on her for 100 years. Kritavam Tapa Atyugram Sri Devi Dhyana Purvakam. So he started contemplating on Ambar, and he did very, very severe penance and japam for 100 years. Tato Maya Bhagavati Sri Vidya Parameshwari Lalita Rajarajeshwari Mahatripura Sundari Sri Chakrapura Samrajji Mahakailasavasini. So all these are adjectives of Sri Vidya Parameshwari. Maya Tato Maya Bhagavati Sri Vidya Parameshwari Lalita Rajarajeshwari Mahatripura Sundari Sri Chakrapura Samaraghi Mahakailasa Vasini. What happened to her? She came in front of Brahma. Pritasa Brahmatapatha Swastana. So what did he? So Brahma requested her to bless him with her milk. So she also agreed. And then what did he do? Swastana Stav Amriteshwarim Shirahyam Jnanadatrim Jara Mrityu Vigatinim. So she ordered the Amriteshwari that she should be, so the milk should flow, the Amritam should flow for the benefit of Sri Brahma from her sthanam. So Shirahyam Jnanadatrim Jara Mrityu Gatinim Brahmane Jnanadhanaya Mochayamasa Sundari. So she ordered that the Amritam should flow from her to for the benefit of Brahma. Accordingly, that Shira Devi, who Tatat Sudatmika Shira Dratva Devyatsa Sasanam. Accordingly, the Amrita started flowing from Devi's Tanam, and Brahma Murdim Samaloke Papata Amrita Dharaya. So having emanated from Sri Parameshwari's Tanams, it started flowing, and that Amrita Dhara was flowing on top of Brahma. Brahma Murdim Samalokya Papata Amrita Dharaya. That Amrita Dhara fell all over Brahma. Then Tatapitva Mahadugdam Murdnipata Abhishekajam Truptyadi Dugda Dharabir Bhashyanta Kshira Nirbharat. So that Kshiram and Amritam came together, and it fell all over Brahma, and having drunk that milk to his entire satisfaction. Tata Pritya Mahadugdam Murdnipathabhishekajam Truptyadi Dugda Dharabir Bhashyanta Kshir Nirbharat Yachesham. After he has drunk that milk, the river was still, the Amrita Dhara, Kshiram and Amritam was still flowing. It was still flowing. How did it flow? Yachesham Tanmukam Bojai Bharati Padirajyate Tato Dugdambika Devi Parvatadiva Nirgatha. So it started flowing all over the Bharata Desham, and then Parvatadiva Nirgatha. Then it became in the form of a river. Saridrupa Tato Bhutva Dakshina Uttarayostate. So it started flowing towards the South India. So south of India, Saridrupa Tato Bhutva Dakshina Uttarayostate. So from north to south, and then having formed the shape of a river, it then branched into four smaller rivers. Samagamana Vrittagyam, Bahu Kundalini Gatam. So it became into 4 rivers. Saridrupa Tato Bhutva, Dakshina Uttarayostare, Samagamana, for the first river's name was Samagamanam. The second river's name was Bahu. The third river's name was Kundalini. The fourth river's name was Gadam. Samagamana Vrittakyam, Bahu Kundalini Gadam, Samakrishya, Chaturbis Saridbihi, Sayuthada. So it started flowing in the form of 4 rivers. And then that Shira river, so Kanchi Desham Tadaprapya, Purvasindhum Paragata. Then, having reached Kanchi Desham, it started flowing from west to east, and then it eventually ended in the Purva Sindhu, which was described previously, the Purva Sindhu ocean, which was to the southeast of Kanchipuram. So, Kanchi Desham Tadaprapya, Purva Sindhum Paragata. This is the story of the Palaru or the Shira river. So, Tatota Bhagavan Brahma Sarva Vidyasu Panditaha Shira Nadhya Prabhavena Sarvagyo Bodh Pitamaha Dashtva Datham Nadim Shiram Mudatasya Varam Dadao. So, that time Brahma was so happy that he was able to drink that Shira Prasamrtam, and then having as a result of drinking that milk, Kshiranadhya Prabhavena Sarvagyo Bhut Pitamaha. He was able to obtain the supreme knowledge that he was requesting, he was looking for. And then Dashtva Tutam Nadim Kshiram. So he looked at the Kshira Nadi. So Tashay Varam Dadao. He blessed that river. How did he bless the river? Yak Payoshyam Naraha Snanat Purvajnana Udayena Sadyajnana Tanur Bhutva Kaivalyam Padamapniyat. So whoever he, as usual, he blessed that river, saying that whoever takes bath in this river, Yapayo Snan Vespayosnyam Naraha Snananyas Purvajnana Udayena, he will obtain the knowledge of his Purvajanmas, and then Satyajnanam Tanur Bhutva, he obtained the full knowledge and Satyajnanam, full true knowledge, and then he will obtain moksham. Satyajnan Tanur Bhutva Kaivalyam Padamapniyat Yevam Varena Sanyukta Tatra Kshirapaya Nadi. So he blessed the Kshira river, the Palaru, like this. Tat Yevam Varena Sanyukta Tatra Kshirapaya Nadi Vartate Tatra Sagyabhi Madhye Tundira Mandalam. So that Kanchi Palar river or the Kshira river, which is the flowing in the Tundaira Mandalam, which is on the outskirts of Kanchipuram. This is the story of that river. Then, in order to further describe the greatness of that Shira river, he gives another story also. Pura tasmin sarit choye bahvas snanamatadha satyajnanatano bhutva yatha kaivalya prasidgatim yeshu kachit. Okay, so the various people who are took bath there, they attained moksha, but in particular, one story, Teshu Kachit Pura Vipra Papakritye Sadaratah Dehante Narakam Prapya Papaseshadaho Punaha Kundalinyakyan Yastu Toye Mandu Katham Gataha. So what happened? This Brahmin, who was once upon a time, this Brahmin who in one of his birth had done lots and lots of sin. Kashchit Pura Vipraha Papakritye Sadartha. His full life was spent committing various sins. And then Dehante Narakam Prapya Papaseshadaso Punaha. So he, at the time of his death, he was reborn in a different shape as a result of his various sins. Dehante Narakam Prapya. He went to hell, and then he was condemned to, having been condemned to hell, he was sent back to earth. Papasesham Adasopunaha Kundalinya Kundalikyakyanadhyastu Toye Mandukatam Gadaha. So he was condemned to become a frog and then go and live in the river. So I told you 4 rivers, right? Samagamanavritta, Bahu, Kundalini, and then Gata. Of the 4 rivers, in the river Kundalini, he came in the river Kundalinyakyanadyastu Toye Mandukatam Gadaha. So he was born as a frog in the river Kundalini. So he was born. Tata Chiranadi Sangat Dujo Manduka Rupasatu. As he was in that river, so he was in the, he had an opportunity to take bath in the river. At that time, Tannadi Dundubagrastha Purvajnana Tanurabhut. So as he was in that river, he naturally would have had the opportunity to be rid of his sins. How did he get rid of his sins? Dundubagrastha. Dundubagrastha means a snake bit him, a water snake bit him. Tannadi Dundubagrastha Purvajnanam Anurvat. So he was rid of his sins and he was able to obtain his Purvajanma Jnanam, and then Tad Rajila Jnana Yoga Raje Kaivalya Samudbhatyam. So at that time, as having been rid of his sins, he Tad Rajila Jnana Yoga, so he obtained the Jnana Yogam, and then Braje Kaivalya Sadgatim, he obtained moksha. Kaivalya Padam obtained. Tasmat Kshirahvya Sreshta Nadinam Jnanadayini. So in this way, the Kshiroshni or the Phalaru or the Kshira river was known as the Jnanadayini and is told as part of the Kamakshi Vilasam story. Okay, now we move on to another story, which is going back to what we said in the previous class. So what did I say? In the sloka I said, Tasmat Kshetram Vidam Punyam Kanchi Kshetram Prajakshade Vishnunadadishtidam Kshetram Shiva Sanidhyakarakam. So in that Kanchi Kshetram, not only Ambar, but Vishnunad Adishtidam, Vishnu also stayed there permanently, as I was telling you in the Lalita Upakyanam also the story comes. Shiva Sanidhya Karakam, Parameshwara also continued to stay there. So Mahashakti Prabhavadyam Shakti Pradhanya Vaibhava Vinasharahitam Kshetram Tasmat Satyam Vratakyakam. So there was no, that place was completely free from all troubles and difficulties. So there was no death or destruction in Kanchi Kshetram, and for this reason it was called Satyavrata Apayam. It was called Satyavrata Kshetram. So as I was telling, the Swasti Vachanam of Kanchi, we say that Swasti Praja, Swasti, we say, what do we say? Sri Kamakshi Devi Sanatha, Sri Madekam Ranatha, Sri Mahadevi Sanatha, Sri Hasti Girinatha, Sakshatkara, Paramadhishtana, Satyavratanamangita, Kanchi Divya Kshetre, Saradamada Swasthitanam. That is how we do the Swasti Vachanam for Kanchipuram. When we describe the Kanchipuram town, we say that the place where Sri Kamakshi Devi, Sri Mayekamranatha, and then Sri Hastigirinatha, that is the Mahavishnu, along with his Mahalakshmi, Sri Mahadevi Sanatha, Sri Hastigirinatha, Sakshatkara Paramadhishtana. Sakshatkara Paramadhishtana. All of them are permanently staying in the Kshetram, which is called Satyavratanama. Satyavratanama Ankita Kanchi Divya Kshetre. That is how we do the Swasti Vachanam. So the same for the Vinasharahitam Kshetram, Tasmat Satyavrata Apayam. I also said that in that Kshetram, what did we say like them? Bilavriksha Vimanagi Kshetram Tejasam Uchade, but Shiva Shakti Atmakam Kshetram, Tata Hariharatmakam, Yavat Shakti Bahamaya, Samaya Sagunay Dvidha. In Kanchipuram, Ambal appears in two forms. What is Dvigunay Swagunay Dvidha. In two forms she appears. One is the Nirguna Rupam, which is the Sri Chakram, and the Saguna Rupam, which is the three Rupas. So it was described in the sloka, Vishnu Sakti iti bhavabhyam Nirguna Hekadasa Tatra Pavartate Devi Saguna Trividatmika. So for explaining the Sagunam, the Sattvam, Rajas, and Tamasa, Sattva, Rajas, Tamasa, the Trigunam, and she appears in three forms. Trividatmika. So I had mentioned at that time how Sri Kamakshi appears as the Trividatmika. That story we will say now. So Tasmat Mahakshetre Shunyat Sri Pumsavedadaha. Sri Kamakshi herself appears in the form of Shiva and in the form of Vishnu. That is the essence of the story that we are going to see now. So even though she appears in the form of three deities, all the three are nothing but the variations of the Swabhavam of Ambal. How do we say that? Madhukaida Bhavada Arambhagat. So many of you might have heard the story of Madhukaidava in either Vishnu Puranam or in Devi Bhagavatam. In Devi Bhagavatam, you hear that Madhukaidava, they came from out of the dirt of the years of Mahavishnu when he was in Yoga Nidra, and then they start having come out of the years of Mahavishnu, they started troubling Mahavishnu. And then so not only Mahavishnu, they also went on to trouble Brahma, who was doing meditation, seated on the lotus on the Sanabhi Malay. So Brahma, who was seated on the lotus flower on the Nabhistanam of Mahavishnu. So they started troubling both Brahma and Mahavishnu. And so Brahma went to his father, Mahavishnu, and started praying to him. And he said that these demons are disturbing me, so you should get rid of them. And Vishnu was in Yoga Nidra, so he could not do anything. So even though he pleaded him, his request was not heard by Mahavishnu. So because he was in Yoga Nidra, so he went to Amba and he pleaded to her. And yeah, because of his fervent prayers to Amba, so Mahamaya, she woke up Mahavishnu, and then he fought with Madhu and Kaitaba for 5,000 years. That is how Devi Bhagavatam recites the story of the destruction of Madhu and Kaitaba, right? So there what happens is he fights with them for 5,000 years, and what happens at the end of 5,000 years, still they are not able to, the war does not come to a close. So they still keep on fighting because they had got that kind of a blessing. So they are very powerful. They were very powerful. So Mahavishnu consults with his sister, which is Ambal, and then Ambal tells him that these two people will not be killed so easily. So you have to kind of deceive them. And accordingly, Mahavishnu, what happens is she says that you two are very brave, and I'm very happy with you. So please ask me whatever boons you want, and I will grant them. And those two, Madhu and Kaitava, they say, no, we don't want any blessing from you because we are equal to you in their vanity. They say to Mahavishnu, say, we don't want any boon from you. Rather, you can ask us a boon and we will grant that boon to you. That is exactly what that is Yogamaya's doing. So they, with great vanity, they ask that they say that to Mahavishnu, and then Mahavishnu says, if that is what you want, then please grant me the boon that I should kill you both. So then Madhu and Kaitaba, they realize that they have been cheated, I mean, deceived by Mahavishnu. And then they say, in that case, they knew that they cannot be killed on the earth or on water. So, particularly on, I mean, in any, because their calculation is this entire world is surrounded by water. So they say that you can kill us in a place where there is no water. So accordingly, Mahavishnu then he takes picks them and puts them on his thigh and kills them. That is the story of Madhukaita Bhavata in Devi Bhagavatam and in the Vishnu Puranam. But here it will be told in a different way. And so, if you have heard that account previously, you will hear a different account here. तन्नद्याक्षोत्तरे पार्श्वे पादयोतनमात्रतः काञ्चीक्षेत्रं तपस्तानं प्रागुक्तं तत्र वर्तते तस्मिन् क्षेत्रे महाशक्तिर्त्रिधा रूपेण वर्तते सा देवी ब्रह्मदेवस्य तपो विघ्नाय ते पुरा त्रिधा रूपं समाश्रित्य तत्तपो विघ्नमातनोद तत्कथां सम्प्रवक्ष्यामि सर्वपापप्रणाशिनीं सुरथ क्ष्मापते भक्त्या सावधानां शृणु. So Markandeya says to Suratha the king in Kanchi Kshetram, which we described before. So Kanchi Kshetram Tapasthanam Praguktam Tatra Vartate. So Pada Yochana Madhardha, the smart near the Palar river, the Shira river, where Kanchi is located. What happened? Ambal is in the form of Trivida Tridha Rupena Vartate. Ambal is there in three forms. What are the three forms? They will explain to you. Sa Devi, Brahma Devas. Why did she appear in three forms? She appeared in three forms because Sa Devi, Brahma Devasya, Tapo Vignaya Vaipura, Tridarupam Samasritya, Tat Tapo Vignamatano. So she took those three appearances in order to disturb the tapas of Brahma and also to kill this Madhu and Kaitaba who were going to kill Brahma himself and also the entire, give trouble to the whole world. So, Tridarupam Samasritya Tat Tapo Vignamatanote Tat Katam Sampravakshami Sarva Papa Pranashinim. So, listen to the story which will give you, as usual, moksham, or, it will rid you of all your sins. Surada Kshmapate Bhaktya Savadanam Sunu. Listen to me patiently. And then he continues that story. Pura Brahma Jagaddatha Lokanatha Pitamahe Vamsajanam Daityanam Mృతానాం Pranakam Tesham Vara Janarthaya Amrtatva Pradayasha. So what did he do? In order to protect the Daityas who were also created by him. So technically he was their father also. So Brahma Jagaddatha Lokanatha Pitamahe Swamsajanam Daityanam Mృతానాం Pranakankshaya. So in order that they will be rid of the problem of death. So what did he do? He obtained Tesham Varar Janarthaya Amrtatva Pradayasha. So he gave them the blessing that they will be deathless. They will be completely free from death. So is it possible that that kind of a blessing, it cannot work with the power of Brahma himself? So what did he do? Asadhya Nagarim Kanchim Kamakshi Sannidhim Buddha Sampravishya Mahasaktim Kamakshi Tam Samarchitha. He knew that he will be able to get that power and give the blessing to those two Daityas only with the blessings of Sri Kamakshi. So he came to Kanchipuram, Asadhya Nagarim Kanchim Kamakshi Sannidhim Muda Sampravishya Mahasaktim Kamakshi Tam Samarchitha. So he started meditating on Sri Kamakshi, sitting in a very, very private place. And then Sitva Tatraivacha Satraivasa Brahma Karnajo Madhukaidabhav. So in order to help him to concentrate on his meditation, he created two asuras whose names were Madhu and Kaitaba. Sitva Tatraiva Sa Brahma Karnajo Madhukaidabhav Tato Vigna Vinashartam Ananyagamanaya. So Ananyagamanaya. That means what? As he is meditating, sitting in that very private place, nobody should disturb him. And in order to help him to continue his meditation without any disturbance, he created these two asuras. So they will be the sentinels. Then what did he do? Bahidware tu taustapya. So that very private place, let's say a cave, he posted them as sentinels outside the place where he was meditating. And then Hridware tau stapya Belasto Rakshanaye cha tapaschakara Bhagwan Rakshasanam Samardhaye, in order to protect the for the welfare. So his aim was to continue the tapas and then to get the blessing from Sri Kamakshi and then help these Asuras to get the Amritatvam. So Ambal knew about this. So what did she decided that this tapas should not continue. So tata kadachit Kamakshi sarvadaitya nikrantani daityeshu krodhamastaya tapo vignaya vakpathehe prishte so she decides that this tapas should not be allowed to continue and somehow this should be disturbed and that Brahma should not get the blessing that he is asking for. So Daityeshu Krodam Astaya Tapo Vignayam Vakpatehe Prishte Tad Brahmadevasya Madhukaidavayorgatha Swaswasthane Swarupene Sisva Sritya Sarchamaya. So she took she is Yogamaya herself, right? So Ambal. So what did she do? She went to the place where this Madhu and Kaitaba were standing there and protecting the entry to the cave where Brahma was doing the meditation. Vishnu Rupene Bhakvesmin Stitva Chakrayudena cha Grivas Chedam Tatakritva Hatva tu Madhukaidabhav. So she took the form of Mahavishnu and then she appeared in front of Madhu and Kaitaba. So Madhu and Kaitaba Grivas Chedam. So like she decapacitated them. She cut their heads away. Tatakritva Hatva tu Madhukaidabhav. In this way, she killed Madhu and Kaitaba. So the commonness in the story is that the Vishnu Rupam, Ambal came, she took the form of Vishnu, and then she killed Madhu and Kaitaba. But the difference in story is that they were actually protecting Brahma, who was doing the tapas, so that at the end of the tapas, he will get the blessing, and he will bless these Daityas to live long without death. But other Puranas, they tell the story differently. But the common part is that they get killed in the hands of Mahavishnu. So, Grivaschetam tadakritva khatva tu madhikaitavau swasrupasya agnidigbhage swarupam viksha samstita tatho brahma taponishto madhukaitapanishvanam. So, inside this Brahma is sitting inside that cave and he is doing the meditation. As he is doing the meditation, he hears the noise Madhukaitapa Nishwanam Yamabhadu Sujanitam Dhvanim Dukkena Naditam. So this Madhu and Kaitaba, who were being killed by Mahavishnu, at that time they shouted very fervently, and it was Dukkena Naditam, very noisy, very cries of pain, and that was heard by Brahma. So Brahma, Madhukaitapanishwanam, the sounds created by Madhu and Kaitaba as they were dying in the hands of Mahavishnu, that noise was heard by Brahma and his tapas was disturbed, which was exactly what Ambal wanted. Tatho Brahma taporishto Madhukaitapanishwanam Yamabhadat Sujanitam Dhvanim Dukkena Naditam Akarnyat Digiti Brahma Kshanad Uttaya Tivrataha. So he was in very, very deep meditation and he got up, from his tapas. He was shaken up so badly and therefore immediately he got up from his tapas. Akarnyat Digiti Brahma Kshanad Utthaya Devratha. In 1 second, he gave up all his meditation and suddenly stood up and started searching for Dwaradesham Samagatya Dushtva Tau Hatakantaro. So he started, he came out of the place where he was meditating and then he looked around and he saw that Madhu and Kaidaba having been decapacitated And then Mahantam Kopamasritya Hantaram Vijikaya. Mahantam Kopam. So he became extremely angry as to who killed this Madhu and Kaitava. Mahantam Kopamasritya Hantaram Vijikaya. He was looking for, he wanted to find out who killed Madhu and Kaitava, who were like his sons because he created them, and for the protection of himself while he was doing the tapas. And for two reasons, they were his sons, so that they were killed. And for the reason that his tapas was disturbed, he became extremely agitated. Mahantam kopamastritya hantaram vichikayasha gatam tivrena bhayate shanka chakra gadadaram. So he now was looking for who killed this Madhu and Kaitapa, and he looked all around and he saw that Mahavishnu. Gatam Tivrena Bhaitah. So Mahavishnu was now very, very worried as to who is this Brahma is going to be. He is very agitated. So Gatam Tivrena Bhaitah Shankachakra Gadhadaram Durato Anala Digbage. Anala means Vayu, right? Anala is Vayu. Well, Vayudik means northwest direction. That is where this Mahavishnu is standing. So, Durato Analadik Bhagve Gatva Tatra Upasamtitam. He, wherever he was standing, he ran away from there, and he ran away in the sense not out of fear. In order to deceive Brahma, he quickly disappeared from that place where Madhu and Ketaba was killed, and he moved away in a northwest direction, and he went and stood there. Tatra Durato, to a far off place, right? Durato Analadigbhage Gatva Tatra Upasamstitam Drishtva Hantasa Yeviti Param Nichitya Padmabohu. So he saw this Mahavishnu running away, and he said, oh, this guy is the one who killed Madhu and Kaitava. So he chased after him. And then Drishtva Hantasa Yeviti Param Nichitya Padmabohu Gatva Tasya Samipetu Tam Hantum Sa Pitamaha. So you are the one who killed Madhu and Kaitaba. And having said that, Kopena Sahito Brahma Kare Brahmastramanayate. So that Mahavishnu having got Brahma having got very angry at Mahavishnu, in order to kill that Mahavishnu, he took the Brahmastram in his hand. Kopena Sahito Brahma Kare Brahmastramanayate. Tata Pitamaham Vishnu Shatru Samhari Tejasam Yuddhayukta Kopadyam Kare Brahmatra Sanyutam Drishtva Pranamya Shirasa Punaruttaya Keshava. So Mahavishnu then thought, oh my God, now this trouble, we are in trouble. So this Brahma has taken out his Brahmastram, and he might do something out of his anger and stupidity. So he says, I did not kill this. I Drishtva Pranamya Shirasa Punaruttaya Keshava. So having prostrated to Brahma, he said, no, I did not kill this Madhu and Kaitava. Na ham khanta Sayor Brahma Niyanta Bhagavan Haraha. He said, no, I did not kill this Madhu and Kaitaba. You see that Parameshwara who is sitting there. So he showed to Brahma, the Parameshwara, so now we have come to the third form. The first form is Ambar, which is Yogamaya. The second form is Mahavishnu, who was thought to have killed, who was thought by Brahma to have killed Madhu and Kaitaba. Now, having been, challenged by Brahma, Mahavishnu says, no, I did not kill him. So now he shows the direction of Parameshwara, and he told him, Naham Kunta Tayor Brahman, Iyanta Bhagavan Haraha, Matkaidava Samharam, Kritvad Eva Viniryayo. I did not kill this Madhu and Kaitaba. It's only this Parameshwara who is there. He killed him. And having said that, Mahavishnu disappeared from there. So Madhukaitava Samharam Kritvad Eva Viniryayo. She moved away from there. अवलोक्यते पृष्ठे रुद्रं तं तीव्रतो गतं इत्युक्त्वाथ स्वहस्ताभ्यां सूचयं तम् उमापतिं सिद्ध एवात्मनस्थाने ब्रह्मपृष्ठे हरात्मकः भूत्वा जगामस्त्वया तस्य वायव्यमागतः. So he moved to another direction, and there having seen Parameshwara, he goes there and asks him, what did you kill this Madhu and Kaitava? Tato Brahma Harer Vakyam Shrutva Vayavyabhagake Vikshamano Mahadevam Kalakalam Agorakam. So that Parameshwara, he is sitting in a very, very meditative posture. He knows nothing about this. However, Brahma has been told by Mahavishnu that this he was one who killed that Madhu and Kaitava. So he goes and stands in front of Parameshwara, and he asked him, so you are the one who killed Madhu and Kaitava, and that was not proper. So Kapalasula Hastadyam Bhimam Vairavarupakam Tada Kopena sa Brahma Rudrantikam Upayayau Brahmana Mayantam Kopa Samrakta Lochanam Sampreksha Bhagavan Rudro Dhrita Pasupatastrakaha. So that Parameshwara, who is sitting there, he goes and Abhyakta Tejasa Tatra Babau Tatra Kshanena se Vyomnileenam Mahadevam Dashtva Kim Chitram Vidyati. So he goes and asks Parameshwara, so who was in a meditative posture, and did you kill Madhu and Kaitava? So Sa Vichinti Tato Brahma Naiva Pashyan Maheshwaram Vishnostanam Punarbhadva Samagvit Tato Harihi. So Parameshwara says, I didn't do anything at all. I'm sitting here. I'm doing my own meditation. So Sa Vichinti Tato Brahma Naiva Pashyan Maheshwaram. So one thing I forgot to tell you. So Tato Brahmanam Ayantam Kopas Samrakta Lochanam Sampreksha Bhagavan Rudro Dhrita Pasupatastrakaha Abhyakta Tejasa Tatra Babho Tatra Kshanenasa. So he was Brahma wanted to go and ask Parameshwara, and Parameshwara saw that Brahma is coming. So Bhagavan Rudro Dhrita Pasupata Astrakaha Abhyakta Tejasa Tatra Babho Tatra Kshanenasa. In 1 second, Parameshwara disappeared from there, and we knew that if Brahma comes, he will give trouble to him. So he disappeared from there in the sky. Yum Avyakta Tejasa Tatra Babau Tatra Kshanenasa. Avyakta Tejasam means he disappeared, Avyaktam, then in about Tatra Kshanenava, in 1 second. Vyomni Leenam Mahadevam Dashtva Kim Chitram Intyati. So now Brahma says, 1 second ago I saw this Parameshwara. Now I don't see him. And for 5 seconds ago I saw that Mahavishnu. He also disappeared in front of me. Now Parameshwara is also disappearing in front of me. So he doesn't understand what's going on here. Sa Vichintya Tato Brahma Naiva Pashyan Maheshwaram Vishnosthanam Punarbrahma Samagaccha Tato Harihi. So now Avyakta Tejasa Tatra Babhau Sobi Janardana. So he goes to the place where he had previously seen Hari, and the moment he goes there, he is not able to see Hari also, because he had also disappeared from there. Tatra Vyomni Gatam Drishtva Kim Chitramiti Tatrudha. So Brahma was wondering, how come wherever I go, I think I see those people, but I am not able to see them. So now Brahma started getting worried. So he understood that something was going on here, which was beyond his comprehension. So Vichintya Bhitya Sa Brahma Swapranam Sranan Udyatah Tat Parityajya Sagasa Beje Swabhavanam Bhayad. So now he said, this I'll let me better get out of this place, because something is going on here. First it was the killing of Madhu and Kaitava. Then I go to Mahavishnu, and Mahavishnu says he didn't do it, but he disappeared from there. And then he shows me the direction of Parameshwara. I go to see Parameshwara, he also disappears from here. So something is not okay here. And having Vichintya Bhitya Sa Brahma Swa Prana Trana Udyataha. So he was worried that if he continues to stay there, something could happen to him also. And out of that fear, Tat Parityajya. So he left that place. Sahasa Beje Swabhanam Mayad. So he went toward Brahmaloka, which was his own abode. Paschat Kanchi Mahakshetri tu Vyakta ज्योतिरात्मक है स शिव शंकर शंभु महाप्रलय के विभु. So he then comes to Kanchipuram. Paschat Kanchi Mahakshetre tu Avyakta Jyotiratmaka hai, in the form of a bright jyoti. So he realizes the shapes of Cha, Shiva, Shankara, Shambhu, Mahapralayake Vibhu. So he sees the shape of Parameshwara in what form? Chuta Bija Kritir Bhutva Babhava Ekamra Sangya. So Chuta Bija means the seed of amra fruit, which is the mango. So Chuta Bija Akritir Bhutva, he saw Parameshwara in the form of the seed of the amra fruit. Chuta Bija Akritir Bhutva Babhava Ekamra Samkhya. Under the Ekamra tree, he sees him. Tataiva Bhagavan Vishnu Tejasa Vyakta Vigraha. So he also sees the shape of Mahavishnu without any physical form, but in the form of a light, a jyoti. So Tataiva Bhagavan Vishnu Tejasa Vyakta Vigraha. In what form? Brahma Aswamedha Yagagna Bhava Varada Ityavi. So in the form of Varadaraja, who gives blessings to Brahma in Ashwamedha Yaga. So Brahma Ashwamedha Yagagno Bhava Varada Ityapi. So as though he is blessing Brahma at the time of Ashwamedha Yagam, he sees him in his imagination, so not in the physical form. And so, Tasmat Vishnu Mahadevo Tabo Shakti Revahi. In this way, he realized that there is nobody, this Mahavishnu and Parameshwara, they were only the other forms of Shakti, and the Amba herself came in the form of Mahavishnu and Parameshwara. Tasmat Vishnur Mahadevo Pahubau Shakti Revahi Sa Shakti Tatra Kamakshi Trivida Tatra Sapara Tasya Vilasa Trividaha Hari Shakti Isha Abedataha. So that way he realized that there was no difference. All the three of them were the same. There is no difference between Mahavishnu and Parameshwara and Ambar as they were together in Kanchipuram. So Brahma Aswamedha Yagagno Babau Varada Ityavi Tasmat Vishnu Mahadevo Taubau Shakti Revahi Sa Shakti Tatra Kamakshi Trivida Tatra Sapara Tasya Vilasa Trivida Hari Shakti Isha Abedataha. So if you go back to the previous not chapter section, where it was said Vishnu Shakti iti Bhava. So Shiva Shakti Atmakam Kshetram Tata Harihara Atmakam ya Atmashakti Mahamaya Sa Maya Subhinair Dvida Vishnu Shakti iti Bhavabhyam Nirguna Ekadasacha Tatra Pavartate Devi Saguna Trividatmika. And it was also said at that time Tatmacha Mahakshetre Shunya Tri Pumsa Vedadaha. There was no difference between the female form and the male form. It's okay. Trivida Atmakarupadyam Kshetram Shaktyahvayam Tvaram. So it was called the Shakti Kshetram, and the story was fully elaborated through the account that I gave just now. So Sha Shakti Tatra Kamakshi Trivida Tatra Sapara Tasya Vilasa Trividha Hari Shakti Abedataha. So it was the Shakti. So in this way, it was well established that it was, even though it was called Satyavrata Namangila Kanchi Divya Kshetram, it was predominantly a Shakti Kshetram. Tasmad Ayam Puranetu Markandeya Videshave Sri Vidyabhikyakande Che Tripitasya Prabhavake Yeshu Pratamapitasya Prabhavoyam Rapotame Kamakshyastu Vilasoyam Kanchi Mahatmyamuttamam. In this way, in this first chapter, we have fully recited the greatness of the Kanchi Kshetram, which was Kamakshyastu Vilasoyam Kanchi Mahatmyam Uttamam. So the greatness of Kanchipuram and the surroundings of the Kanchipuram were fully described in this first chapter. Tasmad Ayam Puranetu Markandeya Videshve Sri Vidya Kandam. So that is, as I was starting to read the Kamakshi Vilasam, I told you that the Kamakshi Vilasam is supposed to be the part of Markandeya Purana in Sri Vidya Kandam. So the Sri Vidya, where Markandeya tells King Suratha the story of Kamakshi. So that's what they are saying here. Tatmad Ayam Purane, this Markandeya Purane, Markandeya Videshave, who was recited by Sri Markandeya, Sri Vidya Vikyakande, the Kanda named as Sri Vidya Kandam, Tripitasya Prabhavake, the Tripitam of in Kanchipuram, the three Pitas being the Kshetrama Varadaraja and Kshetrama Parameshwara and the Sri Ambar. Teshu Pratama Pitasya Prabhavoyam Rupotame Kamakshyastu Vilasoyam Kanchi Mahatmyam Uttamam Ayam Grantha Puraneshu Rahasyam Munibisrutham षट्शताधिक Sahasra Grantaina Paripuritam. So this particular Kamakshi Vilasa has got 1600 slokas according to this one. Ayam Grantha Puraneshu Rahasyam Munivismrutam षट्शताधिक Sahasram Grantaisha Paripuritam Tavasnehan Maya Proktam Rahasyam Trishtakamadam Rahasyam Ishtakamadam. So if you listen to the story, it fulfills all your desires. Tat Puranene Chadhyavi Kancham Sarvam Pratishtitam Tasmat Kshetre Tuyo Dadyat Mushtimatro Venam Danam Vijay Kurukshetre Tuladhana Palam Tat Palam. So then this is the Palasruti of this particular chapter, the Kanchi Mahatmyam. What it says is, whatever who listens to this story, they get the benefits of giving all kinds of alms, going to Kurukshetram and giving alms to Brahmins and all that. Edat Rahasyam Akhyadam Kanchi Kshetra Prakashakam Yat Pate Shuniyan Nityam Shuniyan Nityam Imam Madhyam Adharat Kancha Anna Pradhanina Yat Palam Tat Palam. So we don't have to go to that. So it's supposed this is the benefit of listening to the story of you get the benefit of doing all kinds of good deeds in Kashi or Kurukshetra. So this is that way. This Puranam, this particular chapter is a very blessed chapter. That's the end of the first chapter, the Kanchi Mahatmyam. And iti Sri Markandeya Purane Sri Vidya Kande Kamakshi Vilase Kanchi Kshetra Prakashako Nama Prathama Adhyaya. So the first chapter, which is more than 140 slokas, have been finished by us now today. And we will continue with the second chapter, which is the Dvitiya Adhya Pravarabha. So we will do it in the next week. Okay. Namaskar. So I hope to continue to see you all. We'll continue the next week. Namaskar.
Thank you, Mama.
Namaskaram.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaskaram, sir.
Namaskaram, sir.